that short commercial break. It's still your favorite #1 show, Her Moments. I'm your host, Asha Kusu. Now, today's topic of discussion has been and is still women entrepreneurship. This is a new year, and we want to say no to poverty, no to unemployment. As women, this is our time. And still back in studio with me is Mary Nampera, who is still telling us her life journey, how she has promoted from one level to another, how she has come with, the least money you could ever expect from your boss to put on your account, but still grows bigger and bigger. As women, what do we learn from this? Patience. How can you grow? Growth is something in nature. Growth is something we should always expect. Entrepreneurship is something that is there for us, something that you can start small and grow bigger. Or maybe from her life story, we are still getting more to learn. Just like I say, she's a believer. She believes too much. And in one way or the other, those small farms she has always had with Papa, giving them small portions of land, were some of the indicators that, my dear, you be our Ugandan agriculture researcher. Right?
Yes, communicating about agriculture and research and all that.
Do you have like a farm at home? Like, okay, do you plant like maybe sometimes our mothers always plant these eggplants, green peppers?
I have different crops at home. I'm not in such a big plot, but I have some crops there. I have bananas, I have cassava that is planted, I have some yams.
This in the garden or some portion in the
Yes, yes, I have small portions.
Wow.
Then I have somewhere a piece where I have sweet potatoes. So why do I have this? I'm looking at having zero hunger first in my home.
Wow.
It is very important to have food security. If you're talking about the farmer or the Ugandan out there to have food, and I'm speaking for an organization that is trying to put food on people.
Saying no to hunger.
Zero hunger, that is the drive. So I am also participating and doing so much to ensure that my family has enough food. I'm not yet having something for selling, but at least I have enough. I rarely buy food.
That is where I was coming to.
I rarely buy food.
I really want us to differentiate between farming for financial, commercial farming, and this other subsistence farming, as a poor person in agriculture. However, my mother is a farmer.
Yes.
I want us to differentiate this, because I can have a small farm or a small portion of land in my compound with eggplants or green pepper. I use it like for my homesteads, and I maybe use it for my food at home, but I take a little of it to maybe my neighbor or give these people who work with the food vendors and sell to them probably for money.
Yes. What I can say about that, it's really quite possible. Personally, I don't grow food for selling.
Yeah.
Yes, because I have a family that can consume, and maybe if I'm to grow any extra, I have been so far giving it to some relatives. But we are working with farmers, or communities, youths, women that are growing crops that they are selling. We train these youths or the women and the girl child to have something at home, to take agriculture as a business, because it's all about management.
Exactly.
At the end of the day. So you can have something small, have some tomatoes, have some green eggplants, have cabbages, and definitely if you have 20, you may not, because they are maturing almost at the same time, you may not be able to consume all. So you can have extra for selling.
Yeah.
If they are tomatoes and you have staked them properly in a small field, you can still sell some. or give to the neighbors, because it's such a good thing to give to someone. It's a blessing.
And that very person might even bring you customers.
Exactly. So you find that we are working with different categories of people, both those who are doing urban farming with small pieces of land, but we also encourage others who are growing crops. As a woman in a home, one should be able to help the husband at the end of the day, because the standard of living is so high these days. You find that you need to be of substance or be contributing something to your family. So if possible, if you have a small piece, it's very good if you have some crops grown, and then you can help with something that is eaten in the home, and you stop spending so much in the market. But then we also encourage, I would also encourage someone who has a bigger piece of land, if it's half an acre or 2 acres, to plant maybe maize, to plant some cassava. Why would you have to buy everything? It's very good to have something that you can sell. As a woman, I would encourage someone to have something, to grow some sweet potato, and if it is in excess, because right now when you go to the market, you'll find that a small heap of sweet potato is going for 2,000, 3,000, and as a woman, even if it's 10,000 that you're bringing into the home, it's a big contribution. And even for your personal use, it's not always good to keep on asking. If you can make a contribution in terms of food, to ensure that the food security in your home, it's very good to do that, and not to just sit and wait, because the knowledge is out there. You can always seek on how to grow and how to manage, and then at the end of the day, you are able to bring some food in your home to save your husband his money, and maybe it can be spent on something else. So it's quite important that as women, we need to be determined to ensure that we work hard and be of substance in our homes, and even to encourage the young generation, because it's quite important. You find that several of the parents out there are not encouraging the children, but to do something in regard to agriculture. And at the end of the day, you find that the children cannot do anything in terms of working hard in the garden, either making a mound of sweet potato or planting cassava. Instead they are asking, where does this come from?
Exactly.
And yet it is something that they can learn as a parent. If you have a small piece of land, you can put 1 or 2 stems and they are able to see, okay.
Exactly, that is where I was coming to. I mean, when we start maybe small-scale farming in our homes as parents, that way this is going to stop hunger, starving in homes. You can get a little money from that, maybe to sustain your home, and that way also you can teach your children out there. Maybe if they're in for holidays, maybe now like January is holiday season, I mean, they should stop watching movies a lot or going to visit their friends. This is something they can get, something they can earn. Like, just like Mary said, her father used to give them small portions of land. And I individually, my mother also used to give us small portions of land. Whereby she would give you a mango tree, the other one gives you maize, and the other one maybe green pepper. Now it's up to you. These people, your neighbors, will also come out and maybe, Asha, please sell us this. And that way, I mean, what can you advise the parents out there about this small-scale farming or small entrepreneurship entities? Maybe this could stop poverty. This could stop the fact that women, we are housewives, but then these are some of the small things you can put in your compound and earn a living, get some money for yourself.
Yes, I would really encourage the mothers, the women out there, and as well as the men, because it's quite good when the efforts are combined from all sides.
Yeah.
And to encourage the young generation, to encourage the youths, let them not only watch the soaps and movies and everything, but let them get into working some activities that they can do outside so that they get the know-how. Because personally, from the training that I received from my father, I cannot go anywhere, whether you put me in which district, and I fail to have something that I can plant and get food. He trained me from a young age, and then he took me to schools that are also focusing on some of those activities. In some of the primary schools that I attended, like Buanda, and then also St. Simon, we had to work. We had school gardens, and the matoke or the bananas that we used to eat were being collected from the school gardens. We had sweet potatoes. Some of those gardens were planted by us. So you find that when you get this kind of training to your children, they are of much, much more use in future, both in their homes and then also to the country. They can get something in terms of income and at the same time food. It's quite important to have the children participating in the agricultural activities, participating in one or two activities that can really make them not only focus on the studies, books per se, because at the end of the day they have to eat. They have to eat. So it's quite important that they should know these other activities that can really make them fit well in society.
What are some of those skills that maybe you can teach or let the audience or the viewers know about in the small scale farming while at home? Because I believe sometimes you're launching how to grow certain crops by your wall, by your fence, using maybe polythene bags, something like that.
Okay, so what I can say is that some of the things that really any Ugandan out there, if you are a mother or a woman, married or not married, some of the basics are to know what you want to grow. At the end of the day, what do you want to grow? If it is vegetables, you should know how much space are you going to use, and then prepare that field very well. If it is crops that have roots that are going deep, you should plow. There is that bit of plowing, and then ensure that the land is fertile or the soil is fertile. If it's not so fertile, get somewhere you can get maybe poultry manure, or cow dung, or any kind of fertilizer that can really help your crop to grow well. Then the right seeds, it's very important. The right, the right seeds. If it is a seedling that you need, a banana sucker, a cassava cutting, get to know where can I get the best from, and then bring that seed or cutting or seedling to your place which you have prepared, and then ensure that you dig a hole. Definitely there is the planting part, and after that ensure, if it is not a rainy season, how do you ensure that your crop has water? If it requires for you, let me say vegetables, and maybe you're growing nakati, you're growing cabbages, you're growing green eggplant, any crop that you have decided to grow, you have to ensure that you water in the morning, in the evening if it's a hot season, to ensure that your crop grows very well. Then there is something to do, maybe if you need to boost, there are some foliar fertilizers that you can apply, and at the end of the day you'll be very happy to have this crop that you have grown, to have this yield, to harvest your own maize, to harvest your own tomatoes. It's really a joy to have something from your garden. Like for this holiday, I have not bought any matoke. I have been eating from my garden. I have cassava, and I have made sure that even my daughters have planted sweet potatoes the moment they came back home, because it's a training at the end of the day for them. And now I know that if I give them a piece of land, they are able to put it to good use. So I encourage the parents out there not only to focus on this lifestyle that is so much of the European kind, but also look at what they should give to their children apart from academics. What else can you give to your daughter? What else can you give to your son to make him more useful in society?
Well, you talked about the seedlings, knowing the right seedlings. This has been a major problem. You go to the markets of recent in Nakasero, police came out together with KCC and they were taking off all those business people who are giving out, selling to the people, to the farmers, the wrong products. How do you know the wrong products? I mean, when you tell us to go and find the right seedlings, the right pesticides, and the right maybe procedures, I mean, as small, maybe skilled farmers, what exactly should we look up to? Because people are forgetting that farming is something that is never gonna die at all. You can start up a business, you can start up a boutique, you can ship in bags, you can ship in as many gadgets as you can, but farming is not going to die because this is a piece of land.
Yes.
You understand? This is a piece of land whereby the soil is yours, you're not going to sell it, it's going to yield, you're going to plant, harvest season in and season after.
Yes. What I can say about that is something to do with knowing. First of all, I talked about knowing what crop you're going to grow. And then you locate where to get the right or the quality seedlings or seeds. There are companies that have a good reputation as far as quality is concerned. All over the country have the narrow institutes where you can get some of these seeds and seedlings, but there are also farmers out there that are outgrowers. If you need good, maybe cassava, if they are sweet potatoes, where you know that you're not going to get the disease, there are certain signs that appear on the seedlings or seeds that are diseased or not diseased, or good quality or not good quality. And we have so many people, technical persons, that can really advise. If I can talk about Kampala, if you are within Kampala, if you are to go in Container Village, for the good places or good shops that are selling chemicals, you'll find there maybe seeds that are well packaged. But in most cases, you have to go to certain shops. One of the shops that I can talk about maybe in Kampala, within Container Village, they are Bukola and Kagera. They have good seeds that are well packed. But then we also have seed companies. We have Victoria Seeds, we have Fika, we have East African Seeds. But there are also these small shops that are selling some of these seeds. But I would advise that you go to those shops that have a reputation to protect. They have a name to protect. If you get fake seed from either East African Seeds, you go back to them and tell them ABCD, this crop did not perform well. You have a receipt. So there is a way they will be able to advise you, even give you something better. So I would encourage that we do not get seeds or seedlings from every point. Go to go to the district extension staff, ask them about some of the places where you can get within the districts. You can go to the narrow institutes. They are all over the country. You can get some of these quality materials there. You can go to different shops all over the country, but ensure that wherever you go, you have really asked and inquired if they have the right seeds. Some of the right seeds are well branded. It's very difficult to find someone branding so much the seeds that are not so good. You find companies have a name to protect. If it is Victoria Seeds, the seeds will be well packed and with a seal sometimes. So, even the Ministry of Agriculture is doing so much to ensure that the fake products are off the market, much as there are so many out there. But I believe that we can be able to identify the quality seeds, and we are able to have them and grow them.
Yes, you're talking about the packaging, having the right people, the right company to go for the right seedlings. But sometimes it may not come about the right company or the right seedlings. It could come about maybe drought, poor soils, something like that. What do you advise the viewers out there if they face such a challenge?
What I can say, these are problems, what you have pointed out. If it is about the changes in climate, they are everywhere, not only here, even in other countries. I think as Ugandans and as women entrepreneurs, we need to, if you're really serious that you're doing agriculture as a business, you should be able to invest in it. There are small irrigation technologies that are out there. There is a treadle pump, which you can just use to irrigate your crops. There are sprinklers, and some of these, they are watering cans. If you're growing vegetables, there are watering cans that you can use. There are sprinklers, there are treadle pumps. Some of them are not at a high price, but at least you can have them for now for the irrigation bit. So as for the soil fertility losing and everything, having our crops looking good and yielding high, you can still go out there and buy some fertilizers, because these days it's very hard to grow crops and you have the good yields without adding a little bit of fertilizer. So you have to be willing, and some of these fertilizers are not so expensive. You can get a kilo 5,000. Really, if you're a serious farmer, you should be able to invest 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. The foliar fertilizers, there are so many on the market. So you should go for something that can really help you, and you should be willing to invest. And I would also encourage someone, for those who are taking agriculture as a business, it means you're going to invest in some irrigation equipment. But for those who cannot afford, you need to plant early. Prepare, if it is a field that you're intending in the season, plow your field early enough, prepare the garden, and by the time the first rains come in, you are able to plant either your maize, your soybean, your groundnuts. And by the time diseases like maybe the fall armyworm that is so rampant these days, by the time those pests come, you find that you have already gone far with your crop. So it's very important to have timely planting, timely weeding, all timely management in all aspects, and then you will have the good yields that other people talk about. It's quite important to have a passion as you farm, as you grow, as you have any project that is agriculture related, to work hard to see to it that you have the best. Do the basics, do good management, do the early planting, do the early weeding, then ensure you prune all those aspects. In case there are any diseases, pests, you have to ensure that you control.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming through. This has been a very, very interesting lesson for me to learn. I mean, say no to hunger. Why not? Many people are starving. Many people are looking for water, something to put in their stomach. But today's topic has been women entrepreneurship. Why can't we stop poverty? Why can't we say no to unemployment? This way, we shall have a greater generation. And as women, these are the things we're supposed to be knowing on our fingertips. Tap, tap. It has been good listening from you, teaching us, encouraging us.
Yes.
I mean, I can't believe you're such a great farmer.
I'm trying.
All right, we're looking forward to having you more and more often on our shows as you encourage, teach, and inspire other women out there. Yes. Today's topic, once again, has been women entrepreneurship, and the show has been Her Moment with me, your host today, Asha Kulsum. In studio, we have been with Mary Nampera. She is the senior communicator of NARO. NARO is National Agriculture Research Organization. Until next time, see you. Bye-bye.